Hi everyone, it's Lindsay with High Altitude Astrology, and I am bringing you a video about a current transit that's happening. It is transiting Mercury at 26 degrees of Virgo, transiting Pluto at 26 degrees of Capricorn. Now, this is a transit that has happened 3 times because Mercury just was retrograde. And so during that retrograde, it came back into this position with Pluto. So on August 22nd was the first time that Mercury in Virgo trined Pluto in Capricorn. Then on September 9th, Mercury went retrograde in Libra, and it came back into Virgo. And in that process, it trined Pluto again on September 27th. And then eventually Mercury went direct. And this is the final time that Mercury is going to be trining Pluto in its direct motion. And this is perfecting at 9:56 p.m. Mountain Time. And I wanted to discuss some reflection I've been having about it as I see it manifesting. Mercury has to do with the thinking process, our minds, gathering information, news. It's a very kind of social energy where it's absorbing information, sharing information. And in Virgo, Virgo is actually ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is comfortable in Virgo. Mercury in Virgo expresses itself in a very detail-oriented way. It's about really parsing facts and kind of figuring out, what the facts are, basically. But Virgo is also a sign of healing. It's a sign of service. So it has that aspect to it as well. So with Mercury in Virgo, it could be a time where what we're communicating about deals with this area of our health, our physical health, but also helping others and being of service towards others. So that's the Mercury in the sign of Virgo. That would be the focus, like the focus being more of the communication being kind of supportive and, again, like concerned and wanting to offer support to others, essentially. Now, like I said, Mercury went retrograde in the sign of Libra. So that brings in another aspect to this understanding where perhaps what we were experiencing through the Mercury retrograde process had something to do with relationships, because that is what Libra is all about. It's about harmony and balance and relating to the other. So because the Mercury retrograde started in the sign of Libra and backed up into the sign of Virgo, that brings in this piece of perhaps this trine between Mercury and Pluto has something to do with the relationship piece of our lives. And then the fact that Mercury now is in Virgo means that maybe there's some clarity, maybe there's some information and parsing of facts that we are coming to in our relationships with others, that now with Mercury direct, but still in Virgo, trining this Pluto, we are finally kind of getting to the point of being able to really understand something and ready to discuss it, ready to share about it. Again, in this Virgo way, which really is a very practical energy, Virgo. So it may just be a time where we're really kind of getting to the bottom of some truths in our relationships with others. And when I say getting to the bottom, that's because Pluto deals with that. Pluto is an energy that deals with things that are hidden, things that are unseen, the shadow, things that are taboo, that we don't necessarily easily allow to come into the light. But Pluto is all about that process of transformation, of bringing things ultimately out and up to the surface, to be transformed in the light. And it's Pluto in Capricorn, which is an earth sign, just like Virgo is, and that's why you get this trine between the two elements, elements that are of the same harmonize when planets in those signs connect. So this trine is a harmonizing energy. And Pluto in Capricorn, we've been having Pluto in Capricorn for a long while now, and it's the transformation that you're seeing around things like the structures that hold society together. It's also things like the patriarchy, or kind of this sort of might makes right kind of attitude that we see collectively, that is starting to kind of be transformed by being broken down. And also, Capricorn is about personal authority, and our like our own personal authority, standing in our personal authority. And Pluto's about power. So there's something with this Pluto in Capricorn, in this dynamic with Mercury and Virgo, that is saying, communicating about what is, what our personal authority is bringing about some kind of transformation in our relationships. So this is a very positive connection between the two energies, even though Pluto can always be somewhat challenging, because it is about facing what we don't easily want to face. And the shadow side of Pluto can be things like manipulation and power tripping and control. So there's this necessary need, basically, to kind of keep the energy elevated, and in a harmonious trine like this, you can more easily do that. And so when we're facing Pluto, these deeper issues with others in relationship, the need is to not go into these sort of maybe older kind of dynamics where we might more easily just default to wanting to manipulate or wanting to control. But this Pluto is saying it's important to actually get deeper into this process and allow this transformation to occur. So this can take various forms. For example, one thing I just saw in the news was this whole, in the US, the president's son has been accused of misdeeds when he was overseas, and somehow like evading taxes through deals that were being done. And just today, and that's really old news. Like that was happening when that news was happening when the president was running for office. But now, just today, it's being uncovered. That's Pluto. That there's really actually more of a case that could potentially be brought against him. And so that would be an example collectively of this Mercury trine Pluto information, detailed information, Mercury and Virgo, that's being brought to the surface, brought to the light, Pluto, about these Capricornian kind of again, these power structures that are kind of toppling right now, Pluto, collectively. And so this is an example of that. And really, this is not anything to be afraid of. It's important for it to be embraced, and to, again, really use this time as an opportunity to kind of just get very clear and communicate about what we may have learned over this Mercury retrograde period for ourselves, especially in our relationships. And this is playing into the fact that Pluto is actually what's called stationary right now. So on the 8th, in a couple of days, Pluto is going to go direct. So right now, Pluto's sort of, the energy of Pluto is slowed down and it's just sort of pulsing very strongly, you know. So that kind of makes this time with this Mercury trine Pluto even more intense, where we're really feeling this energy of needing to dive deep into the transformation. So that's another piece of what's happening right now. And then, of course, it's all leading up to this full moon, which is going to happen on the 9th of October. And it's going to be a full moon in Aries, opposite the sun in Libra. And the full moon, which I'll be making another video about, but it's going to be very much near Chiron in Aries. And Chiron has to do with a wound, but also healing. And Chiron in Aries has to do with a wound around being courageous, being strong, feeling our own personal worth, in a sense. You know, Aries is about I am. So if there's a wound around I am, there's a feeling of like not being able to self-assert. And so that's part of what this full moon is going to be bringing up, is illuminating where there may be places where we have difficulty standing in our power, and the need to heal that. And so this Mercury trining Pluto is kind of the gateway to this full moon, where we're really being able to and encouraged to, again, communicate clearly about any transformative, you know, energy that may need to be brought about in our relationships. And an example of it in my personal life is where I have a friendship where I feel like there's a lot that's asked of me that at times I don't feel like I should be the one to kind of be in this role of what's being asked of me. So I can feel this buildup of kind of needing to have that conversation where I need to clarify for myself what I'm willing, you know, to do or not do in the situation, and not feel controlled or manipulated in the situation, you know, where I'm really standing in my own power around it, because I feel it's important to have my boundaries about what I, you know, what my role is, you know. And again, leading up to this full moon, it's like healing that part where it feels like, oh, I don't have the right to say that, you know. I don't have the right to, or I don't have the strength, you know, to communicate my needs clearly. So another just personal example of this. So I think that's really everything I wanted to say about the Mercury trine Pluto energy right now. It is kind of an intense time. It is a time of getting to the bottom of things, and really, you know, this full moon is going to kind of bring a kind of a culmination of all of this energy to the surface. And then Mercury goes into Libra on Monday, and so that will actually help allow more kind of balanced communication and a little bit of an maybe easier time if conversations are needing to be had, where we can, bring the balance back into situations and communicate that with a little more grace and a little more love and just an ability to kind of really express ourselves with more harmony and balance. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any Mercury trine Pluto comments, examples in your own life, please feel free to make a comment, and subscribe to my channel if you like my videos, and I will see you real soon. Take care.